Well, it was all kind of spur of the moment. Like, I was having some man problems, and I was just kind of getting frustrated with a lot of things and just all kind of stuff going on. So I thought it wouldn't be a bad idea to go out hiking and kind of like get away from all the stress and everything from life. So anyway, I decided it was like July. It was July 7th, 2014. And I decided to all of a sudden just, go hiking and get out of town. So it was like between 100 and 110 degrees that day, real hot. And it had rained recently, so I guess it was kind of humid. I don't know, but I wanted to go back to a place where I had been as a child, a real pretty area. So I parked the car, got my hiking stuff on, had a backpack with, I think I had 2 gallons of water with me, and I had 1 gallon I think I left at the vehicle, and then the other gallon I just put in the bag to carry in case I needed it. So I figured I'd drink that whole gallon as hot as it was, and I had soaked down my shirt and everything to kind of stay cool. And so I started hiking back in this area, and I get about 2 miles in, and like I said, I was completely by myself. I didn't have, any guns or anything with me. I just had like sort of I guess you call it like a tactical knife. And I had that on my hip. And so I just kept on going back. I took a couple of rest breaks, and I just kept on going and going, see if I could find this pretty area I remembered. Of course, the area had changed in all those years a little bit, but I get back in there, and I'm completely by myself, and all of a sudden I hear this go pow, like really loud, almost like a gunshot, but it sounded to me like somebody hitting 2 huge pieces of wood together, like 2 tree limbs or 2 logs. Somebody hitting one, hitting a tree trunk with a log, like really loud sound. And I looked towards the direction of the sound, up and ahead, and I saw above the short little mesquites and junipers, I saw the tops of these dead trees waving. Now, there wasn't any wind. It was really still that day, especially back where I was, just not even any wind at all. I see the tops of these trees waving around. I'm thinking, that's weird. So what I realized, what went through my mind was that, one, that was real sudden and real loud, but someone would have to be really, really strong or big to do that. And the only thing I could imagine that would be big enough or strong enough would be like maybe cattle, or a big herd animal like a deer, or, aoudad sheep maybe, or something like that. And the area was real tight and a lot of bends and not real open, a lot of real rocky and dense brush, and it didn't make a lot of sense for a herd of big animals, or any kind of big animal that would normally travel in a herd, to be in, particularly in this really, I don't know, tight thing of trees. And if it bumped up against it, it'd have to be doing it on purpose to make this kind of sound, or maybe I startled something and it really did it real suddenly. Well, then I thought, well, maybe it wasn't a prey animal, maybe it was like a predator animal. So I'm thinking the biggest thing I could come up with that might be in the area would be like a mountain lion. And mountain lions, though, they're so graceful. You know, I mean, what did it do? I startled it awake from a nap in a tree, and it suddenly jumped down off a tree branch, and the tree branch sprang back and hit the other trees and made all these trees move. It just didn't make a lot of sense. So I was kind of on high alert, and I had a little attitude. I was pretty upset about, you know, life situation and all that. So rather than turn around and leave, I decided, screw it, whatever it is. I was kind of in the mood to, I guess, fight, or just, I was not in a back down mindset at all. So I pull out this knife and I keep going towards where I heard the sound come from, and I saw these trees moving. I thought, well, whatever it is, I'm ready for it, and I don't care, because I've had it with everything, and if it wants to fight, it can fight. And I know it's stupid and sounds really dumb, but I was just really angry. And a little unsure of myself, I admit. Thought, well, we'll see how I can do if something does happen, you know. But anyway, so I kept going, and I got about even to where the trees were, because I wanted to see what the area looked like. I kept going and saw like this kind of puddle of water and some boulders and real peaceful area. And I got that weird, that's when I started getting a real creeped out feeling. I don't know why, but I thought, you know, I am way back in here. Nobody knows where I'm at. Nobody could really find me. Nobody could hear me, see me. I just thought, it's probably about time I leave. Besides, I had something going on that afternoon anyway, and I needed to probably start heading back, so. But before I headed back, I decided, since I'd gotten all the way in there, I was going to take some pictures. You know, let's take some pictures of this area, this little solo hike. And I turned around and took a picture of the way I'd come. I took some pictures of the area, and then I put my camera away, put my knife back away, and decided to leave. And since I didn't have a pistol with me, after that point I decided, you know what, it'd probably be a good idea to have a pistol. So after that, I bought a .45. And that was pretty much it for that day. And for a few more years later. Then some other weird experiences happened. I thought, even though I was still a skeptic, I thought maybe there's something to all that paranormal stuff, or that, you know, whatever, I don't know. I started looking into that. We're talking like 3 to 5 years later, you know, passed by. Sure enough, after I'd researched all this paranormal stuff and whatnot, I get I'm looking for an old picture, and I'm looking through all my photos, and I find this bunch of photos from when I'd gone on that solo hike in July 2014, and I thought, you know, I'm going to look at these with a fresh set of eyeballs. Maybe I'll see something that I didn't notice that day. I don't know. I'm just going to look real close. And especially at those pictures from back where around that sound happened. Those trees move and everything. So I look at them, and I noticed something. And it looks like it could look like a shape of a dark human shape, very dark colored, not real defined outline, maybe hairy, something like that, standing, I don't know, 50, 60 feet behind where I already had been, next to a bush. Like I said, when I took those photos, I just kind of turned around willy-nilly and just snapped some pictures, and kind of suddenly, I didn't like plan it real intently. I just thought, well, that's pretty, I'll take a picture of that, okay, let's go. And I saw this thing, and I thought, well, that's interesting. So I'll go ahead and post that photo.